You know the first rule of karate, right?
You really want to do this, Beijing?
The movie begins in Japan in 1986, where a young Daniel is seen at Mr. Miyagi's house. Mr. Miyagi introduces Daniel to his family and shares stories about their proud heritage, especially in sports and martial arts. Their lineage includes many legendary figures in karate and kung fu, including a fisherman named Sensei, who once survived a devastating storm that wrecked his boat. The Han family rescued him and took him to China, where they taught him kung fu. In return for their kindness, Sensei and his descendants felt a deep bond of loyalty and gratitude toward the Han family, even adopting their shared motto. The story then shifts to modern-day Beijing, China, at a kung fu training center run by Coach Han. He is seen training his students, with particular attention to Li, his relative and favorite student, who often trains by himself. Suddenly, a young girl notices Dr. Li's mother arriving and runs to warn Coach Han. He hides Li and tries to delay her. When she confronts Han, the girl unintentionally exposes him, saying he did ask her to stall, despite his denial. Li's mother, emotional and upset, tells Han she doesn't want to lose another son like she lost Li's brother. She hands Han 2 plane tickets, one for Li and one for herself, and says they're moving to New York, where she has a job at a hospital. Although Li protests, saying he doesn't want to leave his homeland, his mother insists they're leaving the next day. They soon arrive in New York, get out of a taxi, and move into their apartment. That night, Li looks at an old picture of himself and his late brother and becomes overwhelmed with sadness. Later, he tells his mother he's stepping out to get food. Walking through the unfamiliar streets, he ends up in a pizza shop owned by Victor. Victor and his friend tease him, but Mia, Victor's daughter, apologizes for them and takes his order kindly. She and Li share a light-hearted moment. The next day, Li's mother informs him that a teacher at school will explain all the exams he must pass. He travels by subway to school, where he meets the teacher who explains everything. Struggling with culture shock and loneliness, Li finds it difficult to adapt to life in New York. On his way home, he runs into Mia again and helps her pick up her dropped belongings. She recognizes him as the pizza guy, and they chat. Impressed by his English, she learns that he studied at an American school in Hong Kong. They bond, and she lets him walk with her. While walking, they pass a karate gym, and Mia warns him not to get involved. The coach, O'Shea, confronts her, asking why her father hasn't paid him back yet. Mia explains to Li that O'Shea owns the gym and her father owes him money. Inside the gym, a skilled fighter named Kai is training. O'Shea taunts him by saying his girlfriend has moved on. Kai becomes angry. Later, at a Chinese store, Mia struggles to get a discount. Li speaks in Chinese to the owner and negotiates a $150 discount. When Mia asks how he did that, Li says their culture respects anyone who speaks their language. He asks her to show him around the city as repayment. She agrees. That night, Li's mother asks about school, and he tells her he met a girl named Mia. The next day, Mia takes Li around the city on her scooter, and they enjoy themselves. But suddenly, the scooter breaks down, and they take the subway. As they walk, Kai appears and blocks their path. Mia tries to de-escalate, but Kai won't budge. Li tells him to step aside, and Kai responds mockingly before punching Li in the eye. Later, Mia apologizes, explaining that she and Kai used to date, but Kai is dangerous and unbeatable. He always wins the Five Boroughs tournament, a brutal karate street competition with a $50,000 prize. Li, curious, asks about the tournament. Mia wonders if he plans to join. He jokes, pointing to his injured eye, asking how he could compete like that. Victor helps him hide the injury with makeup. He tells Li that he used to be a famous boxer, once a champion in the city. He advises Li to apply ice and tea to heal faster. When Li's mother sees his injury, she warns him that she didn't bring him here to fight. Li insists he had no choice. At the library, Li meets Alan, a teacher who will help him with science and sports. Alan is unimpressed by Li's performance and warns him that failure could result in deportation. That night, Lee holds a photo of his brother and tries to mimic the dragon move his brother used to show him but fails. The next day, Kai and Lee spar. Victor outmatches Lee easily. Lee remembers his brother teaching him the move and tries again but gets defeated. He challenges Victor to a fight at the 5th biology competition, which is just a cover for the real match. That night, Victor is attacked by a gang seeking revenge. Lee intervenes and defeats the gang using impressive martial arts moves. Victor tells Lee that he was supposed to protect him, not the other way around. At the restaurant, Lee confesses he learned everything from Coach Han. Victor admits he borrowed money from Coach O'Shea but missed the deadline. They now face serious consequences. Victor shows Lee his past trophies and explains he gave up boxing to raise Mia and run the restaurant. But now, he might lose everything. A friend offers Victor a boxing match with a prize big enough to pay the debt. Victor agrees and asks Lee to teach him kung fu to combine with his boxing. Lee says Han refused to train him. The next day, Lee calls Han at a temple and asks if he should help someone learn kung fu. Han says if it benefits them, then yes, always help when asked. Encouraged, Lee returns to Victor and agrees to train him. Victor spars with Lee, and after seeing his level, agrees to start serious training. Mia is upset that her father plans to fight again, fearing for his life, but he assures her it's necessary to save their home. Training begins in earnest. Victor trains by making pizza in kung fu style, learns fast movements, and practices in the subway. He struggles with the one-sight strike, but keeps training. Eventually, he improves significantly. One day, Lee tells Victor about his guilt over his brother's death. After winning a championship, they were attacked by the person they beat. During the attack, Lee froze, and his brother died. He's been haunted ever since. Victor comforts him. Later, Lee and Alan met at a festival. Alan teases that he and Mia seem more than friends. Lee denies it. But at the festival, he sees Mia with Kai and feels betrayed. He tells Alan they're just friends, nothing more. The next day when Victor is about to fight, Mia tells Lee, apologizing and confessing that she convinced Kai to stay away because she loves Lee. He forgives her. When the match begins, Victor performs remarkably well, proving that Lee's training has paid off despite Victor's age and long absence from the ring. He quickly gains control, keeping his opponent trapped against the ropes. Although elbow strikes are illegal, Connor's trainer, seeing Victor on the verge of victory, instructs his fighter to use one. The blow knocks Victor unconscious, leaving him in critical condition. The incident deeply shakes Lee, triggering painful flashbacks to his brother's stabbing. Frozen in shock, he fails to respond even as Mia begs him to help, which leaves her frustrated. Matters worsen when Lee's mother blames him for the situation, insisting Victor would not be fighting for his life if Lee had not trained him. In the days that follow, Lee's morale sinks, convinced that everything he touches ends in disaster. One night, he comes home to find a window open and is suddenly attacked, only to discover the intruder is his former master, who has come to check on him. His arrival is perfectly timed, as Lee is at his lowest point. Later, at the hospital, Mr. Han and Lee visit Victor, who is now recovering. Mia leaves in anger upon seeing Lee. He then suggests Lee enter the 5 districts tournament, with only 7 days to prepare. Their first step is visiting an old ally. Mr. Han travels to Daniel's dojo, bringing a small tribute in honor of Mr. Miyagi, a man with strong connections to both families and a long friendship. Han asks Daniel to help train Lee. Daniel declines at first, but Han leaves confident that he will reconsider and join them later in New York. Meanwhile, Lee's tutor finds a rooftop garden as the ideal training location. Training resumes at a higher level, focusing not on basic drills but on advanced routines, such as combining crunches with jacket techniques reminiscent of the 2010 Karate Kid. To Lee's surprise, Daniel eventually arrives, ready to contribute his expertise. Knowing the tournament will be brutal, Daniel explains that Lee must blend kung fu with karate, and agrees to mentor him. This sparks a friendly rivalry between Daniel and Mr. Han, each eager to prove their martial art superior. Meanwhile, Connor continues his own intense training. During this time, Lee arranges to meet Mia on the rooftop to make amends. The conversation goes well, and Mia accepts his apology. When tournament day arrives, the rules are made clear: matches are won by timeout or knockout, body strikes earn 1 point, and head strikes earn 2. Lee's first match starts poorly due to nerves, but he regains focus and wins. Since not all matches happen the same day, Lee uses the break to refine his skills under Daniel's guidance. In his second bout, he fights with greater confidence. Connor also advances, winning his semi-final match by both points and knockout after a long, grueling fight. His victory angers certain parties, who attempt to injure him before the finals, but his trainers intervene in time. Preparing for the final, Daniel advises Lee to exploit Connor's aggressive style by turning it against him. He suggests a surprise move, a modified version of the dragon kick Lee once failed at in school, now combined with a ducking motion to mislead Connor. Lee practices relentlessly in the subway until he masters it. Before the match, Lee's mother approaches to encourage him, and Daniel gifts him a symbolic tree pattern band representing the union of karate and kung fu. As Lee enters the arena, the crowd roars, many having underestimated him as an underdog. The final begins intensely, with Connor taking an early lead. Lee rallies, tying the score at 7-7. Suddenly, Connor lands a head strike that momentarily stuns Lee. Regaining his composure, Lee executes their plan. Connor anticipates the dragon kick, but Lee surprises him with a swift low move, delivering a decisive chest kick to win the match. When Connor tries to strike him from behind, Lee quickly disarms and restrains him, stopping short of another punch, honoring his master's teaching. And with that, the film concludes.